Hey everyone. I'm back here once again. So I'm gonna run a quick little video, a quick little rant. So I think in this video, I decided I was gonna talk about the benefits of naivety. To some extent, there is a benefit to naivety, and to kind of almost an overwhelming sense of self-confidence, kind of just being aloof and just kind of being unaware of your environment to the point where it's almost like you're not even aware. And that sort of sense of a lack of awareness, or that naivety, sort of allows you to overcome a lot of situations. There's sort of that counterintuitiveness to it. And there's really no way to explain it. That's the thing about counterintuitive psychology, or sort of these sort of, a bit of this reverse effect in life. This sort of almost like these sort of traps or fail-safes by the universe. I've heard it once said, it was from some kind of, teacher. I'm not going to call him a guru or a master or an ascended person or anything like that. He's just a guy. He has experience in life, and he shares his experience and knowledge. And he says that a lot of this counterintuitiveness in this sort of almost like this reverse psychology of the entire universe, the mind of the universe kind of plays this reverse psychology on everyone, is to keep the wrong people from really screwing things up. I mean, it happens anyways, as we can see in the world, but there's really no logical way to explain why naivety is beneficial. Now, I could give you examples, and you can kind of break it down. Say, for instance, with confidence. If you just have ridiculous confidence, doesn't matter how, if you're poor, you're socially awkward, you're unattractive, you're whatever, and you're just aloof about it. You sort of create this positive energy. You kind of just, you maintain eye contact. You're not afraid to, just kind of put yourself out there. And that actually makes you more likable. See, you would think that that somehow being aware, being overly self-aware, and sort of being almost reclusive and being hesitant and having this imposter syndrome is going to make people like you less, is going to make people like you more, because they'll respect you more because you want to do the right thing. But in reality, if you look deep enough, you realize that a lot of these people, they're really arrogant on the inside. They might want to come off as being, they might want to present kind of this outer exterior shell of being, humble, of sort of wanting to fact check and sort of wanting to, appear smart. But you can see just underneath the surface that they're really just trying to kind of project their sense of their superiority complex and their sort of disdain for those that they consider, to be stupid, or they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, stuff like that. I see that so often. And I've made this mistake myself. And unfortunately, because a lot of these things you can't prove, you can't scientifically prove, or you can't find evidence of it. It's like with body language. You can't prove, present evidence that, a person's body language is obviously bullshit. If they're obviously bullshitting you, or if they're telling the truth, or if they're trying to sweet talk you, or if they're being genuine or submissive or whatever, a lot of people, there's no way to prove that. You can't provide evidence for that. And you can't just jump out with accusations. Most people wouldn't do that. They wouldn't jump out with accusations. They'll kind of try to play along and try to see who can break the other person down, and get them to make a fool out of themselves and be an idiot. Like, oh, look at you. You made a fool out of yourself. You said something that's not true, and you claimed it was true. Or, this kind of imposter syndrome. The imposter syndrome is kind of interesting, because when I see imposter syndrome, I want to say 9 times out of 10, it's sort of a superiority complex with an outer shell of insecurity. It's a very strange... It's really strange if you think about it and break it down. And I've heard it from the same, I guess, teacher. I'm going to use the term teacher. I'm not going to call him a guru or a master or, spiritually awakened guy that's providing this grand insight. He's not. He's a teacher, and he has experience and some knowledge of things that most people aren't aware of. And awareness as well, because this guy meditates a lot, and he really, he just kind of has this awareness. And because of that, said knowledge and experience, he talks about congruency. How a lot of people, they'll sort of try to masquerade as something different. A good example would be imposter syndrome. Because 9 times out of 10, someone with imposter syndrome, especially if it's like a sarcastic imposter syndrome, it's, like I said, it is a superiority complex with a shell of insecurity. It's masked as insecurity. Really is what it is. They'll say something like, well, let me double check, but according to so-and-so, this says this. So obviously you're an idiot. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And man, does that, when I see that, I think, this guy's really insecure. This person is really insecure, and it doesn't matter if they're full of it or not, they're insecure, and I kind of can look into their personality. And, it's adjusting my vape pen. It's so interesting, watching these people make a total fool of themselves. And yet, it's a trap that I've fallen into as well. I'm not here to say that I've never done these stupid things or fallen into these stupid traps. I have in the past, and I sometimes still do fall into these stupid traps. But I think something else is really interesting. It's sort of this, the concept of whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Now, a lot of people will logically pick that apart and say, no, that can't be it. I mean, obviously, how can you be stronger if, something hurts you or injures you and you become crippled? How are you going to become stronger? Like, if I, get shot or something and I have a permanently damaged body part, that body part is completely missing, are you telling me it's going to grow back stronger? Or if I lose a bunch of money and, it takes me 10 years to recover everything that I've lost, that somehow I'm going to end up better for it. And I want to say it's mentality. And the ironic thing is, it's having that mentality is actually what allows you to recover faster from minor losses, to the point where you can almost avoid major losses and actually do better. This idea that whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, it's all about mindset. And that's kind of the ironic part, is that having the mindset of whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, it actually ends up working in your favor, because you can actually avoid some of these major setbacks and not receive the full force of it, because you have this constant mindset. And so you can recover from minor losses and sort of actually do become stronger. That's a really, really good way to look at it. A lot of these people, they kind of take it as, well, no, it's not. It's impossible. I just, like, if I, buy something from somebody and it turns out that I got totally ripped off, it was a crappy, product, and I just lost $100. Like, how is that going to work in my favor? How is that going to work for me? You think of a way to make it better, and you don't have to logically pick it apart. You just believe. It's the same thing with people that, claim that they're emotionally tough, or, they're unemotional. People that are saying, I'm a total psychopath and I don't give a fuck about anything. They'll say things like that they're a total psychopath. They don't give a fuck about anything. They just don't care about anything anymore. But their actions show you the opposite, but yet you kind of play along with it. There's sort of all these psychological and, traps that the universe just plays. It's really, really just interesting, isn't it? And I think that'll be about it for this one. I know I started a few times, but that's about it, guys.